Rick and Morty used to be unavoidable. Catchphrases everywhere, memes everywhere, merch everywhere. And now, it's still running, but it doesn't run culture anymore. So what happened? The writing? Controversy? Or did the world just move on? Let's be honest. At its peak, Rick and Morty wasn't just a show, it was a culture. It was the default, smart cartoon people bragged about watching. Adult Swim's crown jewel. A fandom that could turn a random line into a year-long meme. It captured a very specific energy of the 2010s internet, a mix of nihilism, sharp sci-fi, and humor that felt genuinely unpredictable. The show wasn't just on TV, it was a social event. Every new episode was dissected, quoted, and turned into 1,000 pieces of content. It was a shared language, an inside joke for millions of people. You couldn't escape it, and for a while, you didn't want to. It felt like the smartest, coolest thing on television. But part of the story is simple. The entire TV ecosystem changed. Live cable ratings dropped across the board, and Rick and Morty's live viewership has been reported as declining compared to earlier seasons. The point I said it flopped. The point is, it stopped feeling like an event. We went from appointment viewing, where everyone gathered to watch at the same time, to something you add to your watch list. It became just another piece of content in an endless sea of streaming options. The urgency disappeared. When a show becomes something you'll get to eventually, it loses that critical mass of immediate conversation that makes something feel culturally relevant. The conversation that once dominated social media feeds for days after an episode now lasts for a few hours, if that. It's the difference between being a cultural landmark and just being good content. Then came the moment that changed the conversation, the Justin Roiland fallout and Adult Swim moving forward without him. Even if the show continues, controversy changes the aura around a series. Suddenly, the internet isn't arguing about episodes. It's arguing about the show itself. The discourse shifted from fan theories and favorite jokes to debates about separation of art from artist. The ethics of continuing the series and the quality of the new voice actors. It added a layer of baggage that is impossible to ignore. No matter how good the new seasons might be, for a significant portion of the audience, the show is now permanently associated with off-screen drama. That kind of narrative shift can be a turning point, making it harder for people to just enjoy the show for what it is. The vibe had undeniably changed. And for many viewers, so had the writing. A lot of longtime fans described the same feeling. Earlier seasons had chaos, heart and sharp punchlines, then over time, the show leaned harder into long arcs, meta-commentary, and bits that feel like they're daring you not to laugh. The more the show tries to outsmart you, the less it surprises you. It's a classic trap for successful shows. They build up this intricate lore and then feel obligated to service it. Suddenly watching an episode feels less like a fun, self-contained adventure and more like homework. You need to remember details from 3 seasons ago to understand a C-plot. The humor becomes more self-referential, winking at the audience about its own cleverness. When a show that was famous for its chaotic, anything-can-happen energy starts feeling predictable in its unpredictability, that's a problem. The spontaneity gets replaced with serialized obligation. And here's my extremely scientific cultural measurement. Remember when you couldn't walk into a smoke shop without seeing Rick and Morty bombs? Bro, where did they go? It's like the merch ecosystem quietly said, we're on to the next thing. It sounds like a joke, but it's a real indicator of where a show sits in the cultural zeitgeist. When a property is at its peak, its branding is everywhere. From high-end collectibles to cheap, unlicensed stuff you find in corner stores. It's a sign of mainstream penetration. The fact that you see less and less of it on store shelves suggests that the demand, that rabid consumer excitement, has cooled off significantly. That shelf space is now being taken up by the next hot thing. And then you get moments that feel symbolic. Pocket Morty's is the mobile game parodying monster collecting, has an announced shutdown date. When tie-in projects start disappearing, it doesn't prove the show is dead, but it does signal the franchise is no longer expanding the way it used to. For years, the Rick and Morty universe was constantly growing with games, comics, and all sorts of spin-off media. It felt like an empire being built. The shutdown of a long-running popular game like Pocket Morty's is a contraction. It's a sign that the company is re-evaluating the property's commercial footprint. It suggests that the brand is pulling in the kind of engagement needed to sustain these side projects anymore. It's not a fatal blow, but it's another piece of evidence that the peak is past. Now compare that vibe to Smiling Friends. It's weird fast, it doesn't act like it's above you, it doesn't demand homework, it just delivers absurdity, creativity, and rewatchable moments. And importantly, it feels like the kind of show people quote now. It captured that lightning in a bottle that Rick and Morty once had. Short, incredibly viral, and endlessly quotable clips that feel perfectly designed for the modern internet. It's not weighed down by years of lore or the pressure to be the smartest show in the room. It's pure, chaotic fun, and it feels fresh. It's not about being a direct replacement, but it fills a similar niche in the cultural conversation, the weird animated show that your friends are all talking about. It proves that there's still a huge appetite for that kind of humor. It's just that the audience's attention is shifting. So here's the fairest take. Rick and Morty didn't vanish. It just stopped being the cultural default. The world got more fragmented. The competition got better. And the show's own choices tone arcs, shock humor, made it easier for people to check out. It hasn't fallen off in the sense that it's a bad show now. It's more that the entire media landscape changed around it, and the show itself evolved into something more niche. It went from a show that everyone felt they had to watch, to a show for its dedicated fan base. The internet moved on, as it always does. Being the center of the universe is a temporary position, and Rick and Morty's time in the spotlight was simply up. It's a natural cycle. So what do you think? Did Rick and Morty actually decline, or did you just change? And if you had to name the one moment the show lost the plot, what was it?
Your hot take?
I'm reading all of them. Was it a specific episode, a season, or the general shift in tone? Let me know what you think is the best season and the worst season, and we can argue about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.